Thanks, Chris. I see you are 15 minutes behind schedule. Sure you don't want to skip my one?
You go.
Môre almal. Going to extend my Afrikaans there. Morning, everyone. I'm going to be speaking this morning about the Mvoti Community for Law and Order. It's an organization that we affectionately call Gulf 911 as per its radio call sign. Safety and security is sort of the bedrock of communities. It's a critical success factor if we want to have thriving local economies and thriving communities. And we've noticed as our SAP's efficacy drops, so the safety and security has been dropping in rural areas all around us. And this is obviously threatening communities and rural economies. Essentially, we can't wait for the government to solve this problem. Communities have to take responsibility. So this morning, I'm going to give you a brief insight. It's probably about a 30-minute talk that I'm condensing into 10, into what we've done in Mvoti, taking a small control center that did morning radio checks into a highly effective Section 10 non-profit company that works tirelessly to improve the safety and security in our district. It was about 2013 when our Mvoti Agricultural Society decided that the safety and security situation had got really bad and they needed to do something about it. And the best thing that they thought they could do was to professionalize this little organization called Gulf 911. It was informally run and it had a part-time manager. So essentially we started the process, we formalized a board. Very importantly, we handpicked key leaders in the district who would serve on that board, so we had strong leadership. We got the legal compliance right, improving administrative systems, improving service delivery and emergency readiness. It went very well up to 2018. We suddenly realized we had a huge problem. Part-time management had become a massive bottleneck, and we needed to go full-time on our management. And essentially, like a lot of NGOs, non-profits, we didn't have the money to do that. So the directors had to come up with a strategy, and the first thing really was we had to change our funding model. We'd been running on a donations model up until then. It's unreliable, you get lumpy income, and really not something that you can guarantee a full-time manager to come and work when he doesn't know that the cash is forthcoming. So essentially we moved it onto a membership model. We encouraged members of our community to become members, and they would pay a monthly subscription for that. Obviously, the first task that the manager would have would be to recruit members. And we estimated it would take him about 2 years to do that recruitment. And that obviously left us with a challenge. We had call it the red triangle, where we needed to bridge that funding. And without going into all the details, we took our plan to our business community and we said, we need bridge funding. This is what we want to do. This is the vision. This is where we're taking this community. And they backed us. And so in 2019, we hired a full-time manager. We now had a strong board, strong systems, and a very strong manager. And essentially the organization in 2019 took off. I wanted to just give you, share one brief success story, and no one will forget the riots of July 2021. Greytown, which is the main town in Mvoti, was going from bad to worse. SAPs were pretty much losing control as the number of looters started to flood into the town. And all our cell phone towers had been vandalized, so comms had gone down. The situation was very fluid. We had absolutely no leadership from government, and we were in a downward spiral. Leadership was urgently needed. The 911 leaders got together with SAPs. We developed a game plan on how to deal with this. Obviously, 911 then had to implement that plan. Obviously, with no comms, it made it a bit of a challenge. The heart of the plan was essentially to blockade the town. The blockade, you see an example of one of those in the picture there. Mounds of soil put across the roads. Those blockades had to be manned. We ensured we had at least one SAPS member at each blockade to get the legitimacy right. We had 20 community members behind that, ensuring we also had a radio at each blockade so they could talk amongst each other and back to 911 HQ. Later in the operation, we had the Taxi Association join in to assist. Essentially, the plan was no one in. We shut the town down, and with no one coming in, we were able to get on control of those who had been ring-fenced inside the town. Within 24 hours, looting was under control, and within 48 hours, we instructed the blockades to start allowing people in again. So once the dust had settled, it was a huge success. Towns around us had been literally annihilated. And one of the unintended consequences was this gees. You've never seen anything like it. From the whole community, just getting together behind these blockades and saving the town. It was really amazing. It's great to think about it again. We even got a letter from the Taxi Association thanking us for saving the town. If I fast forward to now, 2024, this is a snapshot of Golf 911. We've secured our own property. We've built an HQ on that property. We built a helipad, a fuel room for the helicopter. We've got an area to expand. The control room is housed in the HQ. We have offices for 911. We have offices for Umvoti Fire Protection and the Umvoti Farmers Association. We've got a boardroom and meeting rooms, a solar system to ensure we don't ever go without power. We obviously employ a full-time manager, full-time administrator, 4 full-time controllers, and part-time bookkeeper. The control room runs 24/7, manning a number of VHF radio systems. We've got fire systems, security systems on VHF, phones and WhatsApp groups. Essentially, they monitor all the information coming in and out the district, verify it, communicate it on the relevant channels. Obviously, it's a great place to report issues, and you can report even the smallest issues like electricity outages or water outages. Larger issues like accidents would run through there. And obviously, the serious emergencies, say it's a farm attack, we'd get management involved in making sure we follow that thing right through to investigation. The one area we found we were a bit short was our medical emergency response. It was a bit of a weakness in our area. The first step was to screen all the ambulance services. The ambulance services were then screened. Only the best were to be used, and we would hold those accountable at each stage. We also needed the ability to helivac serious patients out. So a helipad was put in, and we put a refueling station in that is used by Netcare 911 choppers. And we have successfully evacuated a number of our members. Added tools in our toolbox that we've got a drone that's used for operations. SAPs also use it. We also offer a polygraph service that we facilitate. Crime prevention is a key focus for us. 2 of the initiatives, I'm going to need to be quick here. We've got the zones broken up around our area, different zones, zone leaders. The zones manage all the members in their areas, and patrols are done regularly throughout the week. We've got permission from SAPs to operate security lights that each patroller will get from the control room so that there's a visible presence when we patrol. The other initiative is the license plate recognition cameras. We've picked 12 strategic sites around the district with 24 cameras. Those register all the license plates, and obviously anyone who gets a hit from the local or the national databases will come up. We have a dedicated response team that will respond, and on average we're getting 6 to 10 positive arrests and about 4 positive vehicle impoundings on a monthly basis. Relationships, it's come up before, is key, and it's a key part of our vision. For example, our goal for security companies and SAPs is that they work as a team and they don't see each other as competitors. We've really seen a lot of improvement there. We've got security companies responding to all incidences, not just their customers. And we've even got SAPs, including us and security companies in their operations. So we are moving forward. There's still a lot to do. We've got other areas coming and visiting, wanting to duplicate what we've got going, and we've got the neighboring area that's now come on board. And I see I've got the red light of doom, so I've got to get going. But I'll just sum up essentially strong leadership, management, systems, vision. Those are the things that earn you trust and support in your community. And I think it's a mindset shift in closing. As businesses, we need to learn to pay twice. We've got to pay our tax, and we know we won't get much for that, but then we've also got to pay the NGO that's going to get the work done, and that's what we're telling our community. And finally, time. We're all busy. We don't have time to do everything. So as business people, we need to reserve our time for tactical and strategic issues with NGOs and hire managers to run the operations. And I think I'm going to leave it there. No, that's good. I'm done.